Hey, what's up, guys? You're now listening to Devo with Uncle Theo. Today is day 207, and we're going to cover Proverbs chapters 23 through 26. Guys, we're coming to a close with our book, with the book of Proverbs. We have one more day tomorrow, and then I'll have the great reveal, and I hope it's meaningful to you. But today, we're going to continue to see what Lady Wisdom and what Lady Folly has to offer. Right now, we're in the 30 sayings of Solomon, and he borrowed this from ancient Egyptian literature called The Wisdom of Anonymity, and we're at saying 7 today. And it's beautiful how Solomon has laid this out because remember, he's taught his son wisdom from the classroom and they've gone out to the dojo. He says, look, you can't just look at this from the classroom. We need to go into the matrix and see this. Look at that adulterous woman. Look at how that honey drips from her lips. Look at how she's taking that simple man down to the pit. Look at how she's telling him what he wants to hear. He's simple. This woman is telling him she's been waiting all night for him. You know that's a bald-faced lie. She's probably said that to every guy she's talked to, but she has one, a simple one, and she's taking them down to the pit. And so my encouragement to you is don't be simple for too long, because eventually Lady Folly will have something appealing enough to draw you over to the dark side. Listen to Lady Wisdom, listen to her well, and heed to her wisdom and treat it more than silver or gold or any other precious treasure. And she promises to take care of you. She promises to shepherd you to God, the one she's been with since the beginning. And so let's look at a few more of her benefits. And remember, try to be thematic in your reading of Proverbs when you get out of the opening introduction. And this is something that I'm working on, and I would advise you to do as well. Get you a notebook or notes on your phone or on your computer. Just start writing headings like money, like laziness, hard work, righteousness, good speech, wicked speech, slander, and start putting verses to them. This work has already been done, but it'll just help you to do the synthesis and do the work because those verses will stick better if you do it yourself. But I'm not going to knock you if you take the lazy approach, even though Lady Wisdom is mocking laziness left and right. But if you just have to do that because of the business of life, yeah, just get thematic about this. And so you can read through these when you're dealing with that subject and start to wash your mind and your soul regarding these subjects. But let's hop in and grab a few today. Chapter 23, saying 7. When you sit down to dine with the ruler, note well what is before you and put a knife to your throat if you are given to gluttony. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. So we get this repeated again. And what's the catch here? That ruler wants something from you. That ruler is trying to bait a good hook and sink his fangs in you. So he's preparing a good table. He's filling your belly and he wants to influence you in some way to support his wicked agenda. And Lady Wisdom is telling you when people are sitting things you like before you, food or your vices, don't bite. It will be better to put a knife to your throat. And this is a metaphor to show how serious you should flee, not just gluttony, but somebody putting a wicked agenda before you in a manipulative way, a way that seems appealing to you. Saying 8, do not wear yourself out to get rich. Do not trust in your own cleverness, but cast a glance at riches and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly up to the sky like an eagle. It's a really good proverb here. This will go under money. We shouldn't weary ourselves to get rich. We can think about money. Solomon just taught us how to avoid poverty. But here's the other side of it. Don't weary yourself out trying to become rich. You have to learn how to work hard from a place of rest and allow the Lord to dictate your financial status. Just put the hard work in by faith from a position of rest. Don't toil in a way that'll give you an early grave. Toil with the Lord. You can engage in back-breaking labor without doing it in a sinful way. And you know this when you're tired in a good way, and when you're tired in a wicked way, when you strive with the arm of the flesh and you're trying to scheme up something. We all know that in our conscience. The key is listen to your heart, and I'm referring to your motives on why you do what you do, and it'll help guide you in this. And we won't cover all of these sayings, and you can read them on your own, but I just wanted you to know some background on them. But you have saying 12 and 13 here. Apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of knowledge. That's Lady Wisdom calling out, telling you how to receive her well. Then we had a verse, do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish them with the rod, they will not die. Punish them with the rod and save them from death. And I've heard one theologian put this like this: Solomon knows that it's going to be hard for you to discipline your children, and he's helping you out. He's saying, listen, God put a little extra cushion back there to help you out. So go ahead and discipline. He will not die. It's okay to engage in loving, non-abusive corporal punishment to train your children. They need to experience that pain inside a controlled environment of love. So when they experience it outside a controlled environment in this world who will be hostile towards them, they'll know how to move. A lot of people don't know how to move in this hostile world because they haven't been trained well and prepared for it. And you can give your child a training ground so when they go out in this world, they go out with discernment and they're not simple. And when Lady Folly makes her presentation to them, they'll say no with boldness because they've been trained so well. They can identify her voice because they've already made a commitment to Lady Wisdom. Saying 16, listen, my son, and be wise and set your heart on the right path. 17, listen to your father who gave you life and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy truth and do not sell it. Wisdom, instruction, and insight as well. The same kind of principles. The first principle is to get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding. She's saying it a different way every time. Saying 18 covers the adulterous woman. She is like a deep pit, and a wayward wife, a narrow well. Saying 19 covers drinking. Do not gaze at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a snake and poisons like a viper. So Solomon is giving warnings around alcohol. He doesn't condemn drinking. You'll see all throughout scripture, there's more positive statements in the Bible around drinking than there are negative, but there are strong warnings around alcohol and drinking and strong drink. Verse 20 says, do not join with them who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat. Always baffles me the people who try to make the alcohol argument, they don't make the gluttony argument. And in chapter 24, we pick up more sayings, and they actually close out in this chapter. Saying 21 in verse 3 and 4 says, by wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge his rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasure. That's just a beautiful analogy of what Lady Wisdom can provide to you. And Solomon is making that appeal through saying 21. Here's another one in saying 26. Eat honey, my son, for it is good. Honey from the comb is sweet to your taste. Know also that wisdom is like honey for you. If you find it, there is a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. We're seeing this time and time again. Love wisdom more than silver or gold. Love it more than honey. Search for it with all your heart, and that's how you will find it. And you'll get some more themes as this chapter closes out about how not to show partiality, giving honest answers. Laziness comes up again. So don't forget to get thematic in your thinking. We walk into chapter 25. In chapter 25 through 27, it speaks of God's wisdom as glory. And it talks about the fool as well. Let's just grab a few of those as we close out in these two chapters. So the 30 sayings are ended. And listen to what it says here. These are more proverbs of Solomon compiled by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. So obviously you remember during the time of Hezekiah, there was this great revival, and Hezekiah was tearing down the high places. He was restoring the temple. He was following in the ways of his predecessor, David. And so quite naturally, he would have been interested in compiling the words of such a godly and wise king like Solomon. It says, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings. As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings are unsearchable. God's wisdom pictured here as glory. God gets glory because humans cannot fully understand him. God is incomprehensible, but he's also knowable in the ways that he wants to reveal himself. And we get an important verse on humility in verse 6. Do not exalt yourself in the king's presence, and do not claim a place among his great men. It is better for him to say to you, come up here, than for him to humiliate you before his nobles. And it's just wisdom. You don't go amongst people of notoriety and just take the best seat because you think you know a person a certain way. You may not know him like you think you know him. And it's better to get promoted than demoted. It's better for a king, or taking that into today's language, somebody of status, to say, hey, come and sit up here. You don't sit down there. You know better than that. than a person to say, hey, that seat's assigned to my guy. Don't sit there. You need to go on down to the end of the table. And you just learn. Lady Wisdom is teaching you how valuable humility is and the use of words. Here in 11, it says, like apples of gold and settings of silver is a word spoken at the right time. It's just the fruit of wisdom. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. You give life to people when you speak life to them, when you speak encouraging words to them and timely words. It's just so important. And untimely words can be analogous to death. It could crush a person's spirit. You'll see times, and we've read this before in the historical narrative, a person will get news and it says their heart was like a stone. They were just as good as dead. That's what that means. Death and life is in the power of a tongue. If you get word that all your kids have died, you have nothing else, man, that's going to cause death in your life. And so I hope I'm not beating that drum too much, but I really want you to know that's what that means. And that's how your words have power, not in the sense of you manifesting or speaking something into existence. Please stay away from that. I'm warning you, Lady Folly wants you to take that route because she can get you some results through that and she can get you off the track of wisdom. And that's her number one way of winning you from Lady Wisdom, is giving you a few results and a little success. And then she's got you. She can do whatever she wants with you because you'll constantly chase that high for the rest of your life saying, man, it worked before. I experienced it before. Why is it not working anymore? It's because you're in her pit now. You're one of her victims. She could care less about giving you results again. She may give you some every now and then just to keep you tame, but she really doesn't owe you anything anymore once she's collected your soul and you're sitting in her pit. We get another verse. It's better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. If I have any single guys who listen in with me, but I pray that you've been listening to Lady Wisdom. Listen, she said, do not get you a quarrelsome, contentious woman that has no discretion, one who nags, one who talks back, one who is loud and boisterous, one who doesn't stay at home. Avoid her at all costs. He's giving you so many analogies. You would rather be on the corner of a roof than to be with her. You would rather be in the desert or the wilderness, like water dripping. That's Chinese water torture. That's how it will feel if you pick the wrong spouse. So please take these things seriously on the front end, because God takes marriage seriously on the back end as a covenant, and he doesn't give you many outs. And I'm telling you, if you marry wrong, you're going to try to violate the word of God to find you an out, just because you didn't obey Lady Wisdom to begin with. And we saw early, that's her mocking you because you didn't listen to her. We move into 26 and we have the verse here. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes. You see Solomon, you see Lady Wisdom there is using riddles and puzzles to help you out, to show you can operate in two ways with a fool, but you got to have wisdom to know how to do it. You can't answer a fool according to their folly. Otherwise, they'll think they're wise and that you submit to them and that they know the way. So it's better to ignore them and not even get involved in their argument, to show them that you don't honor or respect that type of thinking. But there is a time where a fool gives an answer and you want to interact and you want to engage in apologetics and presuppositional apologetics, to pull the carpet from under them and to see how flawed their worldview is. And you need the wisdom to know when to do that, when to get involved with that and to engage, or when to walk away. And Lady Wisdom says, if you walk with her, she can teach you these things. If you always have to ask people, hey, when do I do it? When do I do it? What's Solomon teaching you? You got it. You're not wise. You need some more work. And so these are what the Proverbs are for. It says, like tying a stone in the sling is the giving of honor to a fool. And that's piggybacking off of that proverb. This is suicidal. When you give a fool honor, it's almost like killing yourself, because it's going to do no good for the fool and it's not going to do any good for your life. Now you're entangled with this situation because he thinks that you like his wisdom and he's sucking you more into his world, a worldview that you don't agree with. But if you hang around too long, it'll start to influence you. As a dog returns to his vomit, so fools repeat their folly. And he mocks the sluggard again. It's a similar statement. The sluggard says there's a lion in the road. A fierce lion is roaming in the streets. As a door turns on its hinges, so a sluggard turns on his bed. A sluggard buries his hand in a dish, and he's too lazy to bring it to his mouth. A sluggard is wise in his own eyes than 7 people who answer discreetly. Look at that. The man is so lazy, he puts his hand in a bowl full of snacks, and he's too lazy to bring it to his mouth. Solomon is getting down on a lazy person. If you struggle with laziness, listen to Lady Wisdom and flee it at all costs, because it means you know well it's a form of Lady Folly that's trying to get you to stay in foolishness. Fighter. And I brought this up before, like one who grabs a stray dog by the ears is someone who rushes into a quarrel not their own. Do not meddle. Don't get involved in affairs that aren't your own, because you need your energy for the affairs that belong to you. Trust me, you will have enough. Don't meddle. Meddling is a sin that we don't want to be involved in. And to be honest with you, you see it the most with family. You get married, you got in-law drama, you got other people trying to speak into your life. You got all kind of stuff. You go home for holidays, and cousins and sisters and uncles and aunties are trying to tell you how to live your life and correcting you. If you're having a lot of kids, you shouldn't have that many kids. It ain't like it used to be in the old days. You can't have that many kids. If you want to invest and try to better no, you don't need to invest. You just need to keep working. That's meddling. Unsolicited advice. Don't accept it and don't give it. Get you a good inner circle of wisdom, people who are a lot smarter than you that can speak into your life, who you trust, and get out of that meddling away from your life. It's just going to turn your life into a circus and take you a lot longer to get to places you could have got quicker if you just had good wisdom in your corner. So we've gotten through chapter 26. I hope Lady Wisdom has made her case to you on why you should follow her, on why you should be with her, on why you should make her the one for your life. Or maybe Lady Folly gives a better and a more appealing case to you. I'm biased. I've already committed to Lady Wisdom, so that's who I'm going to put you on, and that's who I'm going to try to win you to. Hope I'm doing a good job. If not, maybe your boy needs to get back into Proverbs a little more so that I can get wiser, and maybe I can win you next time. But I got one more day to try. You guys take care. Have a good one.